us remember him as our protector, and not the one who gave us this. As our savior, and not our betrayer. Let us see him forever as you, and not as you. All hail the conquering hero. The one who was supposed to save us all. But now I must save us from you.
Good evening, geeks and nerds alike. I'm your host, Chuck D, and this show is brought to you by Play to Win TV, where you can get your daily dose of gaming news and videos. This is episode 1, uno mas of What the This show introduces a new game, a new guest, and a whole lot of information each week. We give the players a door into your next level gaming. Introducing my lady, Katie, also known as Queen Homicida. Say hello.
Hello, how is everybody? What is up?
All right. So, Katie is part of an upcoming Call of Duty Black Ops 3 team. She's also a hardcore Destiny player that is really catching the eyes of gamers. And the team name that she's playing for is obviously Team Foxglove. If anybody doesn't know that yet, there you go. Spoiler alert.
Hey,
it's happening.
This is the first time if anyone's in right now, that's the first time they'll be hearing about it because I've been trying to keep it low key on stream.
All right, so hey Katie, I've got a couple clips of you playing your games and stuff. Do you mind if we kick one off and maybe we'll talk about it after it plays? You good with that?
Not at all.
All right. Let's do this. So here's Katie, and she labeled it 3 vs 1, so here it goes.
Hey, bro, I felt the vibrations of your
This guy in the background kills me, just so you know. Kills me. Alright, I don't know who he is, but his vocal comments.
Right? So thick that everybody else is nervous.
Oh! Oh, shit, son! Oh! And you're like rapping, you're like freestyling the whole time, you're like owning these people. I mean, eat dick, motherfucker! So, I mean, I gotta say, man, that's some killer ass video. And the guy in the background just like, woo! Ah! Like, that's the perfect dude you want in the background for when you're owning people, man. That is so awesome. So awesome. That was a money-making.
Good vibes that day.
Yeah.
Hella good vibes playing. It was awesome.
You were hitting it. You were popping, obviously, because those people didn't know what was coming at them when you came around that corner. They were like, oh shit, He jumped to turn around and shit himself before he got shot. So, I mean, that's good. All right, so I'm going to do some gaming news now, and then after I get out of the gaming news, we will go and kick back into talking about you, all right? So people...
That sounds awesome.
So people here, I'm sure you guys have heard the rumors, all right? And this is from Huffington Post. The rumors for gaming news, and this is kind of techie news, but gaming too, because if you're an app player or whatever, and I like to put a little gaming stuff into here. Rumor has it that Apple 7 is coming out with no auxiliary connection like the 3.5 millimeter. They're taking it out of the phone to make the iPhone even smaller. Now, I've got an iPhone, and I'm telling you what, this iPhone is already tiny. This is an iPhone 6 Plus. This thing is freaking small. And if you make it any skinnier, I swear to God, it's going to bend easier, it's going to break easier, and I'm going to lose the damn thing, you know? So taking out the 3.5 millimeter headphone jack, I don't get it. They're going to do a lightning cable. So how you charge, you know, in the back right here, how you charge it, that's what's going to be your headphones. And I don't know, man. I use Bluetooth when I'm working out. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't know if you own Apple or if you use them, but I think that is a bad move to make the phone smaller, in my opinion.
People are already denting them, like, immediately after getting them. Like, denting them or bending them in their pockets, damaging the screen from sitting on it. Like, why do we have to make it any more flimsy than they already are? Like, it's terrible.
Yeah, it's
like, I get people want it to be thin and wonderful and fancy feeling in their hands, but, like, I got this little HTC piece of shit, and I bent this, like, a week and a half, just straight bent it.
Right.
Just bent it. Like, with my hands, was frustrated, and I bent my phone. Like, that that should not be possible. So if iPhone's gonna make an even thinner, even more expensive phone, that's kind of concerning from a consumer standpoint.
I agree. I'm not a big fan of it. I mean, any skinnier, this phone is going to be a piece of shit, in my opinion. Unless they somehow find some crazy super iron or something, or metal to make it harder. I don't know.
Yeah, and I don't know about you, but it is a really big pain in the ass now when you go to buy a phone and you're like, I just want my phone. But then you have to buy a case and you have to buy your screen covers because your precious Apple phone with its Gorilla Glass bullshit still isn't going to it's still going to break.
I know, it shatters. And you're sitting there like, what the fuck, man? This shit's going to shatter. So, anyway, I'm not a big fan of removing the 3.5 millimeter jack. I think that you should just keep it. Everything uses it still. I think it's stupid to make it smaller, but that's a rumor. We don't know if that's actually going to be true.
It's kind of like when Samsung like changed, or whoever the hell, the Galaxy on their phone, the charger changed on that phone because they wanted to put that little piece into the charger that made it charge faster. When in reality, you can take a basic any LG charger, plug it into any Samsung 5S, whatever, Galaxy 5S, and it's still going to work. That little piece was just there for downloading speed. And no one's going to know that, and then they're going to go rebuy like a $45 charger for no reason because they accidentally snapped one piece of their charger, and I didn't know that, and then I had to go to the store and they had to give me the cheap version because I was like, I'm not buying your piece of shit.
I don't want to buy your really expensive
charger.
But that's what Apple's doing. I think that's why Apple's doing that, is to make more money on their little accessory crap, you know? And that's probably, they're big dick money in everybody already. I mean, they're sitting here like putting out this new product every 3 years or 2 years where you have to rebuy everything. And so I think it's just, you know, that's what they're doing next. I'm not a big fan. I hope they don't do it. Apple, don't fuck me, all right? Don't
Apple, don't fuck me. No.
All right, so high hopes. The next thing is, I don't know if you guys are big shooter fans. I know you are, but other people, The Division from Tom Clancy has leaked some footage with playable PC specs. Now, we're not talking Xbox, we're not talking PS4, we're talking playable PC specs. It's looking good for everyone who has little or middle to low class computers. They actually made this game, even though how beautiful it is, they made it low. So people with lower end computers can now play The Division. And The Division is, if anybody hasn't seen it, it's like the world's coming to an end or is going to end in the game. And everybody has to survive on their own. And it's like the squad that's supposed to clean up the mess and, you know, defend people and, you know, whatever else. So that's the game. But the good thing is that they ran this thing on low settings with the GTX 650 Ti. That's a 1 gig card. 8 gigs of memory and an i5, like a Q or a Q. I was gonna say quarter two. i5 that's like the second gen. And they were getting 55 to 65 frames a second on it. So that means that people with low-end computers can play this game. So I can take my shitty MacBook Pro I use for photography, go to work, and play some freaking some game. You know. All right. Well, anyway, that's awesome. It. That's it for me. I'm gonna play one more video before we get into talking about everything about you and interviewing you.
The fun discussions of life.
Exactly. But we're going to get one more video in here because this is the game of the week, guys. It's Destiny. We're talking about Destiny with one of the great Destiny players, one who's stuck through from vanilla all the way through, played all your raids, you have had bitches and complaints and so on and so forth. We'll get into it, but here's her raping some more freaking face with her sweaties.
Oh, dang, the sweaties.
She threw a grenade. Oh, shit. Oh, dude. Look at your face, dude. You're just like, oh, fuck. Oh, that was awesome. I gotta take a second. Hold on. I gotta take a minute. I gotta hide.
Oh god, that's vanilla Ceros right there.
Oh man. And you had glasses on. That's why I asked you. You don't wear glasses. Yeah. I was like, what, are you wearing contacts, or did your vision get miraculously better at your young age?
that was so long ago. That was when I very, very, very first started streaming. That was like first wave, like vanilla Destiny. It was when Ceros came out. Everyone wanted to get Ceros and level it up. Everyone was trying to figure out how to get to level 30. Yeah. And oh my god. gosh, that was so long ago. But that was like the first triple like anything because I learned how to snipe in Destiny.
Right. Yeah.
So that was my first anything that cool at all, and I was just like, oh, it's still happening. I'm still doing cool shit. How is this possible?
That's awesome. Yeah. I think you did a killer job. You obviously know what you're doing, even at vanilla. I mean, I'm sure I haven't seen you play your new stuff, but I'm sure you're on top of your game. So let's talk more about you. Where are you from? Like, where exactly are you from?
Originally, I am from like Gatlinburg, Pigeon Forge, like area of
Right.
Tennessee, but I visit there. That's where my family's from and stuff. But I don't live there anymore. When I first started streaming, though, I was living in Georgia.
All right, Georgia.
Yeah. Yeah,
Oh,
it was hot
man.
all the time. It was terrible.
I gotcha. So everybody's gonna ask, how old are you? Do you want to say
19.
it? 19. Oh man.
19.
Oh
Yeah.
my God, I feel so fucking old.
I'm a baby, but
That's all
everyone
right.
gets
That's all
shocked
right.
when I tell them. They're always just like, what? Especially like, yeah.
Right, yeah.
It's funny. As they've seen me change so much over the past year, and then the people that come in like last minute and they ask me simple questions like that, and I
Yeah.
answer them, they're just like, no, she's not. That's a lie. I started telling people I was 45, and I totally sold it for like a solid second.
Sweet. All right, cool. What kind of hobbies you got? I'm sure there's many people that watch you. I'm sure you have mad crushes across the internet, men and women alike. They probably want to know what hobbies you got. Like, what do you do that makes you happy? What do you do outside of just gaming? Because gaming's a hobby, but it's also a lifestyle for a lot of us. So
Exactly.
What's
It
your
develops,
hobbies?
especially when you start pursuing it on like our level, it becomes so much of a lifestyle. So like before
Right.
Destiny came out, I was surfing all the time. I had just started surfing that summer, and I was surfing all the time, and it was wonderful. And then of course, like almost every typical nerd out there, I love anime. Like I would binge through reading novels,
Right.
and then going through an anime binge, and then hitting a gaming binge, and I would like rotate quarterly, and I
Right.
would put like 1,000 hours here, 1,000 hours there. Like it was. I've always been kind of like a binger when it comes to my hobbies, but I want to say I'm a homebody, but I'm not really. I'm
Right.
really not. But my hobbies are the homebody type of hobbies because I just
Right
want to
on,
like
right
sit
on.
here and love my computer all day long
Do you have any
in
animals?
totally appropriate ways.
Oh, well, that's all right. I mean, we already went through pregame here with your Firefox porn habit of like getting hammered with a ton of viruses from the porn you download. So besides loving your
Yay.
computer, right, you've probably got something on that computer that nobody else wants to touch.
Something, yeah, I don't know. I don't know what happened.
Right.
We might have got like a little like internet STD.
That's all
virus
right. We'll
somewhere.
share it. Now we're gonna spread it like Ebola. People are gonna be on airplanes with bags over them, hiding in the aircraft.
Oh,
No
my
worries,
God.
people. All right. So, do you have a cat or a dog or anything? Like, what do you got?
Ooh, cats. I'm
got
a
cats?
total,
All right,
like, fucking diehard. Like, if someone fucked with my cat, it's just like, it's bad. It's
Well,
bad.
not
Diehard
only
cat lady.
I have a cat, and it's a Maine Coon mixed with a Bobcat breed. So his
Ooh.
dad was like 32 pounds, I think, and we went to a breeder and got him. They're called Legendary Lynxes. Well, anyway, I know a little bit about cats. I've been a dog owner my whole life, but I recently just got a cat, baby cat. He's already huge, and every time he looks at me, it's like, I'm gonna fucking murder you. Dude, your ass is gonna get murdered tonight when you're sleeping. Those feet that move around at night, they're mine. I'll wake up and I'll have
totally had
scratches
cats like
everywhere.
that.
Yeah, and I'm like, God, dude, like, you're a little asshole. Like, you have to be the devil. So I named him Vader because he's like Darth Vader, and I'm in love with Star Wars. A huge Star Wars fan. I got tattoos all over my body of Star Wars.
Oh, dang.
Die hard fanboy. And I named him Vader because he's all black. He's got a little tiny white mustache, like a mustache, and then a little goatee. And it looks kind of like Vader.
So you almost have a tuxedo kitty.
It's a tuxedo kitty. It is.
Almost.
But it's
I
got
have
long
I
hair.
totally-
Yeah.
I have a tuxedo kitty.
They're awesome.
Kitty.
They're beautiful too.
He's
But
a badass.
yeah, he's an asshole, and that's why I named him Vader, because he'll choke me out if he could, and lift me off the ground because I'm just as
Don't you,
human. I'm as human.
Don't you love those cats that will just sit on your face when you're sleeping because they're secretly trying to kill you?
Yes, those and the girls. I love girls that do that too.
What are you? Where are you getting your girls from?
The Marine
I'm
Corps.
concerned.
I mean, yeah.
Okay, good points for this.
You and I have already had this conversation. We both come from Marine Corps lives.
You
Oh,
totally
shit.
cleared that up. I fucking noted.
So let's move on. Siblings and family. How many siblings do you have? Or are you an only child? And are you a big family person, or kind of like you just kind of separate yourself from your family, do your own thing, and try not to be part of that?
Well, I have 2 older brothers and an older sister. One of the guy with the awesome commentary in the background of that video, that was one of my older brothers.
Right on.
Older than me by like 5, 6, and 7 years, and we're pretty close knit. We've always been a pretty close knit family. But
Good.
I moved out and got emancipated at 17, and I had just this like die hard.
You're a rebel.
Home. Yeah, like I was
freaking rebel.
home, I was staying out, and I was going to successfully be an adult. Like I wasn't gonna bullshit, but I just wanted to be an adult. I wanted to do it successfully because, like, people struggle with that in my generation. So
God, I hope my 2 daughters don't do that.
Yeah.
Please, little girls, don't do that. I have a 4-year-old and a 1.5-year-old, and I can only imagine the day's gonna come when they're 16 and be like, I'm leaving. I don't want to be part of this family anymore. I'm rebelling and gonna live in a little apartment somewhere else.
I did not do mine out of rebelliousness.
That's
my mother had her 3 children leave. I was working like almost a full-time job. I was already graduated from high school. So I was like, Mom, you did your time. I'm gonna go do me. Give you a break. Like you do you.
You're a good girl.
It was totally on good terms. But I kind of separate myself from my family now, because like no one in my family and no one that I've ever known ever on like a daily basis, meeting them outside of gaming, does or understands what I do. Like my brothers understand, but other than that, like I pretty much just have to go with calling myself an internet personality and passing that off, because they don't completely understand. I kind of, and it's a lifestyle. Like at my age, like I don't know how I would juggle like an entire family life along with a stream life, because I tried this year and it was such a freaking struggle. So I kind of like, actually right now I'm working on distancing myself from my family so I can focus more on my business.
Hey, I mean, you gotta do what you gotta do, man. I was 17. Went in the Marine Corps, 9/11 happened, right? So I went in the Marine Corps. I wanted to be an infantry guy. That's where I started, actually. It was infantry. And I went in, wanted to go fight a war. I got like an 80-something in my ASVAB, and the recruiters were like, why infantry? Why do you want to do that right when we're going to war? And I said, I want to go. They need smart people, too, in the infantry. So I left at 17. My mom was bawling her eyes out. My mom is full-blood Native American. She's Nez Perce. My great times like 5th grandfather's Chief Joseph, right? So she's like total hippie, anti-military, put a flower in the gun kind of lady, right? She smokes pot like 3-5 times a day. You know, she's just like, yo, what's up, dude? You know, like that's my mom. And so I kind of grew up with that kind of family, you know. And so when I left, my whole family's like, where's Chuck going? I'm the oldest kid of all the cousins and family. And I had to separate myself too. So I totally get where you're coming from. You got to do your own thing. You got to drive for your own passions. That's how you do it. You got to get you. You got to do you.
For sure. Actually, I've had a few people message me, a few followers that I've come to know really well, because I try so hard to actually take the time to get to know as many of them as possible, like one-on-one through social media, which can be really, really challenging. But I've gotten so many messages where people were just like, they don't understand what I want to do, whether it has to do with gaming or not. And I'm like, you know what? I know you want to make your family happy, but they don't lay in the bed that you have to make. That's you.
Right.
Like, way after they're dead and gone, if you're still alive and kicking, you have to deal with the life that you shaped around them.
Well, yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? There's a line that everyone has to draw for themselves, and they can say, I'm a family person, but this year I'm going to choose me because I need to make progress in my life so that I can be there for the people I love. And a lot of people don't know when to draw that line, especially when it comes to trying to pursue careers and things that right now to a lot of people seem trivial, like video games. That's hard to explain to a lot of people.
I don't know how they confuse that, though, because this is like the fourth biggest industry in the world right now. Like, there's billions of dollars in this shit.
So many people, they live underneath that rock. Like, they don't look at it from that standpoint. They live underneath a rock of this is still, like, what my child does after school to waste time and, like, procrastinate from homework. So that's how a lot of people, a lot of the existing generations are looking at it. Thankfully, our new and upcoming generations, these people, these kids that are growing up with this shit, that grew up, like, I kind of grew up with cell phones. Like, they got more popular when I was, like, 10. You know what I mean? Like, then everyone was having them, but still, up until I was, like, 13, you were fucking rich if you had a cell phone.
It was still same as us. I mean?
But now people are growing up with it. It's so much more part of the culture. Like, gaming is getting integrated into that part of technology that has just been getting skipped on completely the past, like, 10, 15, 20 years. But it's actually the entertainment part that everyone loves.
That's why Twitch is getting so big. It's brand new. It's like, only been around for a little while, and it's booming, and people are growing just like you and other gamers are growing. It's going to get bigger.
Exactly.
More money's to be made. It's going to filter in more people. I've slowly started seeing even my TV. My smart TV has a G4 app on it, so you can watch gaming and tech crap. Never before have I ever thought I would see that until lately, because this shit's growing and it's hopping and it's moving. My philosophy on business, so, everybody who's watching right now and people who watch on YouTube in the future, I came from the military, and now I am a bomb technician on a research and development base. That's my job now. But I also own 3 other companies. And my mentality is, or I co-own, my mentality is when you're drowning, the only thing you care about in life is getting a breath of air. If you want to succeed as bad as you want a breath of air, you're going to succeed. If you drive as hard as you can to get that breath of air, if you drive with that business, you're going to succeed. Fucking period. That's the way to success. You have to want it. You have to love what you're doing. You have to have the drive to get it. That's it. That's the moneymaker. And it sounds like you got it. So, I mean, I think you're on the right path. You just got to do you, man. This year's you. Go get it.
Yes, 2016
exactly.
is the beginning of 2015 was I had some really good months and some really good moments in 2015.
Good.
But it was just so, like, packed full of learning and winging it and people just dropping shit bombs on my life, and I'm just like, fuck you, all I want is
it's
air.
life.
That's really what it feels like. Like, your business, your life, whatever you love becomes your fucking air. So when like I would get stressed out, all I wanted to do was just do the camera thing. Like, that's all I wanted. That's all I ever wanted. So it really does come down to, if you love it, you're gonna treat it like it's air. It will get you through anything. It will get you through depression. It will get you through anxiety. It doesn't matter if you're miserable the whole time, but it will still get you up enough. As long as you love and you keep your eye on your business, that shit will drag you through anything, I swear. Because if not, I would totally not be here. Because, like, damn.
You'd be half-assing it. I mean, you wouldn't want it.
Exactly. You really have to want it. You really have to want it.
So, what's your favorite gaming food or snack? What do you love to eat more than anything else, or drink?
Honestly, okay, so when I'm streaming, generally, if I'm drinking something, like, it has to be warm, because I shredded my vocals because I got pneumonia last December and streamed through it. So I shredded my vocals. And then I never took off time to really, like, give myself time off.
Tea, salt, and
like,
honey.
legitimately just sitting in silence and, like, resting my voice. I never did that. So I just streamed through the entire fucking year. So I shredded my vocals. So I've really gotten on the hot tea kick, which comes into, like, such good play for just not having that terribly scratchy throat. Because I don't even have tonsils anymore. So, like, throat pain now is, like, getting punched. in the throat, and
man,
I've been punched in the throat before.
Well, that's
okay?
probably not good that people are punching you in your throat at the age of 19. I don't know what kind of crowd you're hanging out with, but people decking people in the throat, that's some serious shit. You need to talk to your friends and be like, listen, if you get mad, please don't punch me in the throat.
Right?
It's that guy with the beard, huh? The big guy with the beard, he's like, ah! Right? That's him.
It was my brother's, yes, it was.
Oh,
it was him. It literally tortured me when I was growing up. But, like, it gets to the point where throat pain is like my vocals are straining, so then my muscles are trying to compensate for what my vocals, because the way you get through it is to try to talk normal. Because if you let your voice strain, it just gets worse. You're just ripping your shit wide the fuck open. So then my muscles start straining. So hot tea is like a huge thing.
Right.
Food-wise, though, like, I love eating. It's so weird. This is going to be the weirdest thing for you, but I love eating burgers on stream because every time I eat a burger, someone tries to food challenge me, and I end up, like, stuffing my face ridiculously. I ate a double quarter pounder and, like, 5 bites one night. It was so dry and nasty. I was shooting for 4 bites, and I just could not. I was like, well, sorry, guys. This burger is so dry right now. But it's interesting. Like, otherwise, I hate eating on stream because I get distracted, and my mouth is watering.
Gotcha.
And I'm like, every time I've ever done PvE in Destiny and tried to eat food at the same time, I literally just was the bigged fucking disappointment as a teammate. Like, just fucking abandoned me.
Oh, shit.
Really?
Hold on.
Like, ask my following how many times they've heard me just, like, fumble, like, mumbling through food, like, trying to dodge people sniping me. It's fucking great.
Awesome. That's awesome.
It's the most random thing.
So, we either have to have a rematch where you and I stuff as much food in our mouth while we're on stream together, or when we go to TwitchCon next year, or this year, we have to have, like, an eating contest. Because, I only live, like, a couple hours away from TwitchCon. So we'll have to bring burgers, and we'll go, like, we'll throw up a GoPro or something, and we will just hammer down burgers for the audience or something, all right?
Oh, my
so
gosh,
keep that in mind.
I'm so down.
All right, we'll do that.
I'm so down. I might throw up, but I'm just
That's
gonna
all
throw up, wipe my face off, and be like, let's go, bitches. I'm down.
I'm skinny. It's okay. She eats like a fat kid. You see that in chat? Man. Woo.
She ate like 10 pounds of fucking, like, burgers. Her stomach rejected it. She's fine. This is normal.
Yeah. So, more on a serious side of your, like, gaming, what got you into gaming and into Destiny? Like, what actually got you started? Was it your big brothers, or was there, like, a buddy or something? Like, what got you actually into video games to begin with?
Probably, like, my earliest memory of a video game. I don't even remember, like, what it was on. I've never even cared to, like, look into it either. But my earliest memory in gaming was being, like, 3 years old and watching my brothers play Pac-Man. And I thought it was the most motherfucking magical shit on the planet.
Oh,
like,
no.
I was so ready to just, like, submerge myself into this world of rah, 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 rah. Like, I just wanted it so bad. Like, I craved it. But
awesome, man.
After that, it was, they got, like, a PlayStation here. Like, we would get, like, they would always get secondhand stuff and constantly trade. Constantly, like GameStop or something, a secondhand store, and they used me as their fucking respawn through the first few Halos for campaigning. And so
just stay here. Okay.
Yeah, just stay here. If we die, we need people to respawn.
You're looking at the deck. You're looking up in the air. What is she doing? I don't care, man. She's a respawn.
I just want to shoot the guys that have the stuff that come out of their heads and go, yay! Like, I was just like, let me do that.
Right.
But that was like, and then fucking like GameCube, like rocking some shit on that. I can't even like remember.
Smash Brothers?
Anything,
and
fucking everything they could go get their hands on.
That's like my go-to GameCube.
We played DBZ games. We played like, they just constantly switched them out. They would burn through a game any type of game, like any type
Yeah.
of game. They were pretty much into anything. And then, of course, they started to get into FPSs. My oldest brother went into MMOs, and then Alex ended up going into survival type Steam games.
Yeah.
So they both kind of went their separate ways, and then I just settled into FPS, which of course we all went through our FPS like phase. But halfway through my FPS phase, I hit Destiny, and then I started streaming, so it became my base game.
Yeah, right.
So you know what I mean?
That's
so,
the starter.
Yeah.
I will tell you now, you're not just going to be an FPS player in the future, and I know why.
Oh, I
because
know.
you fall in love
I
with
know.
gaming after your first couple games. Like, I'll get into in a little bit about my competitive gaming history, and we've already talked, last night about it. But it's kind of like a weird. It grows and you adapt and you evolve, and gaming becomes like
Exactly.
everything. So like I'll play like a survival game and I'll play it for a couple months, and then I'll go and play an FPS, and then I'll go play an MMO, and I'll be like, oh, I want to play this indie
Exactly.
game, and I'll go play this indie game. And now that I have the Play to Win, group or our crew, and then the show that we do, gaming news, I'm buying all these like $10 little mini games, and I'm playing them. I'm like,
Yeah.
dude, I can't believe I didn't do this 5 years ago when Steam started this. Like, this,
Yeah.
oh man, I'm missing out. And I guarantee you're going to get there and you're going to be like, I love everything. I love it all. This is my main game, but I love it all. It's gaming.
Especially having a respect for good storylines,
Right.
and then having, like, pretty much anyone who likes anime is relatively open-minded when it comes
Mm-hmm.
to any form of animation, which I feel like is a pretty good mindset to have
Yeah.
when approaching gaming. But it's kind of like the trifecta of hobbies, so I can pretty much appreciate any game.
Right.
For what it is. I love story mode games. I love scary games, but I can never play all the way through them on stream.
I was
'cause I'm,
gonna
like,
put
shit
that.
in my pants.
Yeah, I was gonna put that on there, but it was almost like it was like a 6-minute clip of you playing a scary
Yeah.
game, and you were like
Yeah.
walking over to a corner, and you were like, "Ah!" And I was like, I can't put this on here. She's just scared. Like, okay, so we'll put some cool shit.
That was legitimate fear you were fucking witnessing. And then, like, at the end of the fucking game, like, fucking Slender Man has already just completely,
Lord.
like, shredded my butt.
Slender Man?
repetitive times.
Ugh.
Yes. And then I like, shut the game off and turned the lights on. And I'm, like, freaking the fuck out. And ended up kicking my desk and, like, almost breaking my foot. And I'm just like, you know what? Fuck this shit. I don't know why I signed up for this, but I love it. Like, I
Yeah.
love putting myself in uncomfortable positions for them to have to, like, watch me work my way out of it, because honestly, I probably wouldn't play a scary game by myself. I played a scary Nancy Drew game once, and I was done. And what Nancy Drew game is fucking scary?
Nancy
like, the
Drew?
first day you got on Farmville and you were struggling with the grind. Like,
Nancy Drew. I think they made those books for like 14-year-olds way back, like in the 60s. I think
Right.
these were 50s
yeah,
or 40s.
I
is when
grew,
it
I
first
grew
started.
up, like, Nancy Drew was, like, the first thing I ever touched on
Yeah.
PC when
Right.
I was, like, 9. And I was just like,
I never have
Oh my
seen one,
God.
believe it or not. I remember like, where in the world is Carmen San Diego? I wanted to say Carmen Electra because that's kind of where my mind goes. Where's Carmen Electra?
yeah.
But yeah, I remember those kind of games, but I never played that one. But yeah, scary
Yeah,
games
no, they're,
suck.
like, super, like, low-key, like, really appropriate, like, censored, like, that's like the I don't know, that's like the legit nerds of the nerds, okay? No one admits that they
It's
play
okay.
Nancy Drew.
It's okay. Pokemon, Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings, Star Wars, that has become the norm of people for the most part now. So that's not that far away anymore. You got to think like
Exactly.
the nerds
It's all
are kind of
coming to reach,
meshing.
all these different types
okay.
of nerdom.
Yeah. So how did you get into Destiny?
Actually, that is I had tried streaming, and it was recommended to me by the person I was with at the time, and so I was like, whatever, I'll try it. My older brother told me I should do it too. I was used to, like, sitting at home with my mic muted because
Right.
I'm a young female with a relatively, like, not female-ish voice, unless you know I'm a girl. So I'm pretty much a squeaker. So I just keep myself muted, like, all the time. So I was just like, I would just rage, and apparently it would be funny. So they were like, you should stream. So I tried streaming Ghosts, and it was the worst fucking thing ever. Well, first
Call
off,
of
I
Duty,
hated
yeah.
Ghosts.
The game
I
was
could not play
awful.
Ghosts.
It was an awful game.
It was terrible. I could not play
hated it.
Ghosts until like Nemesis got released,
Yeah.
and then I could, and I still like love the Honey Badger. Like that will probably be my favorite class I've ever had on any like Call of Duty ever.
The Honey Badger class?
I tried to stream, but they were. I love you, Call of Duty community, kind of semi-ish. I love as many of you as much as I hate as many of you, but like they were dickheads.
Oh yeah.
Just total douchebags. I was like, this is the worst of the worst. Like if you get put into a Call of Duty match with another girl, she's instantly so threatened by you that if she has guy friends there, like they have to attack you. And I was like, this is terrible. So I gave up on it. And then I saw a random female streamer. I was like kind of poking around about streaming.
Yeah.
And I saw a random female streamer pull up a trailer for Destiny, and this was like a week before it was about to be released. Yeah. And I was like, holy shit. This was made by Bungie, and it looks fucking gorgeous. Right. Like that is immediately what caught my mind is how gorgeous it looked. And I had lost my interest in Halo, which is really sad because I enjoyed Halo very much. Like I did. I really, really enjoyed Halo. I'm not a like diehard fan, but I did enjoy it for the time that I was pretty much given to play it. Because most of the time it was just like, do I have a boyfriend here that has an Xbox, or are my brothers going to let me play with them today? Like, I had to kind of go out of my way to get connected with it. But I saw one, I was like, oh my God, I have to have this. So, like, I went to the person I was with, and I was begging him to take me to GameStop to buy this game. Destiny. And I legitimately had to convince him to let me buy fucking Destiny. And then I bought it, and I did not stop for hours and days.
I can guarantee you're like the dream girl of all the sweaty Destiny players who are running sweaties all day, and then you're like, damn, man, that's the girl I need. The girl who begs for a Destiny game. Like, she doesn't beg to go out to, like, some crazy day. Go out. She's like this homebodied girl who's down to earth, chill as fuck, got a dirty-ass mind and attitude and mouth, and she wants to play video games. You know what I mean? So
I was just like, take me to GameStop.
I don't get it.
Just let me go home.
Please.
I need to see my people. Like, so I ended up getting it, and I played it all the time. We ended up getting another Xbox specifically because you could not do 2-player on one Xbox for Destiny. So we ended up getting a whole another console for it and everything because we loved it so much. And he hijacked it from me for a week, and I was like, yo, my ninja, fuck you, pass it back. This is some bullshit. Like, give me my game back.
Right.
But then I streamed my first VOG raid, and in that one stream, I hit over 100 followers, and I had always said that if I hit 100 followers, I would do a 24-hour stream. So then I did my first 24-hour stream, and then it just kind of like kept going from there.
Right. Yeah.
It was just up until every moment until like the beginning of April of 2015 was I just like straight winging it. Like,
sweet.
I never was like, I've made it.
Yeah, right. That's what you got to do, man, is just put your foot to the dirt and keep going.
Exactly. You gotta like grind in.
Since we're talking about Destiny, let's go into like your likes, your dislikes, and your challenges. So what do you like about Destiny? What's your like favorite things or your likes, the things that make you keep coming back and playing Destiny, even though their content seems to release not very quickly?
Yes, their content dries up pretty fast, but I would have to say one of the things I love about Destiny is that obviously from the first time I saw a trailer for it, I was like, that is a fucking beautiful game.
Right.
And then on top of that, of course, it was backed up by Bungie, so I wanted to fall in love with it as much as I was actually inclined to fall in love with it from what I was seeing. But one of the things that always keeps me coming back to Destiny is I love sniping on that game more than any other game I've ever sniped on. And everyone, well, I can't say everyone, but a lot of people early on in Destiny that I knew that were close to me did not like it. Well, I had never sniped in any other game, so I was like, you know what? I'm experiencing something new for the first time. Like, I'm actually like pioneering my way through a game. Like, this is the first major game that I picked out and played because I wanted to play it. So I did things my way, and that was kind of huge for me. A lot of the reasons that I actually love Destiny, is hilarious as you might find this, actually have nothing to do with the game.
No.
It has more to do with how much I've grown with the game as a player. The people that I've met, like what it brought to me through streaming, a lot of aspects about the community. But I love sniping on that game, probably more than sniping on any game. I love the way the weapons work.
Yeah.
I love the way it feels when you're running with a weapon in Destiny. I love the way that when you go to like no scope or you go to quick scope someone, that shit's different with every single sniper, as it is on most games. But it feels different to me on Destiny. Like when I try to go and snipe on Black Ops 3, like I swear to Jesus, like I'll quick scope into the center of the screen and my reticle's like over here in Narnia trying to set up camp.
Come back, not to the lion. Come back, don't hit the lion.
You know, I don't know. I learned a lot about gaming in itself through Destiny, and I think that one of my favorite things about Destiny is what it did for me to grow as a gamer, because Destiny is probably the first game that I looked at and I got it for me. No one recommended it to me. I got my interest in it, and then as much as I wanted to, because like I told you last time, I'm not a very sweaty player. Like I have my moments, but I don't seek out actual like sweaty matches with the sweaty community. But I had my moments, and I learned a lot through Destiny. But I would have to say, one of the things that is kind of a con for Destiny is that for the people who want to keep up with it every minute, there's never enough content. But for the people who want to pick it up and just go into it and play, there's almost too much content. There's too many things that are too time consuming.
So it's a push or a pull.
Yeah, they're like in between that, trying to juggle it. They want to make the people that are hardcore really happy, and they want to make the people that are really casual happy.
Right.
And a lot of times they will end up leaning more towards the casual side because they want Destiny to remain a casual played game.
Right.
And so that is where we arrive with a lot of the diehard community being stuck on these points of, we have no content. Like, what the hell is going on? We're getting burnt out. You're not giving us what we want. So I feel like one of Bungie's probably biggest downfalls is they're stuck between a rock and a hard place with wanting to maintain their vision with the game, but they want to please the entire community. And then that community breaks down into casual players and die hard players. I feel like there's almost no middle ground with the community. It is either people just picking up and jumping into PvP like me, or it is people who are like die hard grinding out every section of the game, which I've also done. And I feel like a lot of people are either on one side of the fence or the other. So it builds a really big divide in the community. But at the same time, any community that is that big is going to end up dividing itself into sections.
You see that. You always see that. Yeah, you have the Care Bear side, what we call it in, like, let's say MMOs. And I played Destiny, like I was telling you last night, I played it in the beginning, so it's easy to keep up and get to like the 30s. You know what I mean? Because you had your buddies playing, you just kind of leveled with them. And well, anyway, like the MMOs kind of thing, you've got your Care Bear side, which is just casual players who just played just to enjoy it. They really don't want to go in too far into depth. They love the story, love the whatever. And then you've got the people who are the hardcore, like myself, raiders, PvPers, you know, content pushers and all that in every game I've played. And you got that other side. But there's really a middle ground, like the spread between the people who just bought the game, let's say in any game, and then the people who are at the very end and pushing the content and waiting. There's a huge gap, and it's a time sink gap from point A to point
Yeah.
B. And I see what you're saying. That divide is huge in almost every
It
game you can
is.
play. Besides, like maybe like Call of Duty Black Ops, where all you do is go back, roll over into a new, or Call of Duty period, you roll into a new veteran level, and then you get these little
Exactly.
tokens, and you roll into another veteran level. There's really not a lot growing with that. You know what I mean? That's easy to pick up and play and be a new guy or an old veteran, and you still are not like that far between. So I think that would be probably,
there's a huge rift in the two sides of the community. I think that's what like Bungie struggles with the most in their community management, is that they're not only is it two sides, it is like literally two dramatically different sides that are expecting two different things from the same game. And coming from both standpoints, like I have spent hundreds of hours grinding out raids, and I loved it and I enjoyed it, but it's all like, for me, I got to that point where I was like, you know what, I put my time into being die hard. Once my characters got deleted, I was like, I'm gonna do this for fun. Like, I'm not going to push the content anymore, because the content is pushing itself enough, and when I do push the content, it feels like it like disappears because there's not enough of the content, you know what I mean? Like, I arrived to decisions where I'm just like, oh my god, Bungie, why did you do that? Like, it's kind of like watching the news. You get halfway through politics and you're just like, okay, well, everything's going to shit. That's my conclusion for the day.
Oh man, you got a bunch of people asking you questions in here.
No, right? Aren't they awesome? Isn't that super cute? Isn't it?
So
he used to be a legit sword bearer for Croatian. Oh my god, those days.
Your followers, man.
Aren't they awesome? Yep. I ran sword the first time on Destiny to what was that song? It was fucking Feels Like the First Time.
Oh yeah.
That was my first time killing Crota, and I killed Crota, I swear to God, to like the chorus of that song. It was massive. Like, it was great.
So let's get, I'm guessing your favorite part of the game is PvP and sniping. That's what I'm gonna guess. Would you say that's pretty close listening to you?
Yeah, I have my days where I get pissed off enough to actually go play PvE.
Yeah.
But for the most part, that is what I enjoy most. Is pushing myself to be more agile with a pretty limited weapon. I mean, if for most people, a sniper is limited to hard scoping long range, unless you get lucky mid to close range. And I like pushing that boundary because for me, it's kind of what's left in the game that I like to enjoy, because, you know, straight out of content.
Right, yeah. All right, so what's your most hated part of the game? What do you hate the most of this game?
What I have to hate what I'm gonna have to say I hate the most about this game. I mean, there are issues, just like there's issues with any game. Bungie has done shady shit. The game itself, honestly, besides balancing issues that happen here and there, and the fact there is no storyline. Like, first and foremost, that's the biggest issue with the game. It would have been
that would be a big issue.
Yeah, it's a huge issue. They did not coordinate it well. It was last minute. It was, and you could feel that. I mean, come on now, it's Bungie. Right. Like, we know what you're capable of. We've followed you for years. Like, the people that they brought in for just, we were expecting a lot when it came to that forefront of the game, and we were let down with that.
I know.
So I would have to say that's probably like the biggest no.
I couldn't agree with you more. That's why I quit Destiny when I was playing with it. I thought, wow, this thing is really like lackluster in content.
Exactly. It feels like it's like, it's so single, so simple. You have a goal, you achieve it, and you're done. And don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
Like, there's enough content now that it doesn't necessarily feel like that. But no matter how much content you put out, there is almost no storyline pulling it together. I mean, from the time that you load up into your first mission to the time that you see the queen die or whatever the fuck, you know what I mean?
Right.
you're thrown all over the fucking place. Like, I wanted more mystery with the Vault of Glass. I wanted more mystery behind the raids and where they were getting this. Like, there was
it's
so
lackluster.
much potential. There was so much potential there,
Yeah.
and I think that is like, that literally set the foundation for people feeling like Destiny,
Yeah.
that Bungie was half-assing what we wanted from the game.
Right.
I mean, it's one thing to put a game out and then not tend to it, but they did. They did act like they were listening to us. They did take our opinions and whatnot, and then we're still left with a storyline that is like no words. No words.
Yeah.
So that is, they really, really, really dropped the ball there.
What do you think the developers are doing right in the game? What do you think they're doing right that's helping the game still stay alive?
That is almost over. I'm just kidding. It's not a rhetorical question. Here's the thing. No matter how much we all want to deny it, none of us would be bitching about the game if we didn't love it. They did create a game that we love. As much as it sucks that the community is so divided, the fact is they created a game that could be casual and could be extremely hardcore, sweaty, grind it out, spend all your time into it. I think what they did right is they have and had the right intentions, and they've still created a pretty good game. But there are moves that they have made that made them not look very good. But I mean, overall, like, I'm happy that Destiny got released. Regardless of how it got put out, I'm happy that it got put out there. They still made a good game. They still try to patch things, even if they're not always completely forthcoming with those patches and the details inside of them. Even if we don't always agree with it, they're still doing it. And I feel like, as far as a console game goes, like, I mean, don't get me wrong, there's been a lot of good games, but for me, Destiny was kind of the first thing of its kind when it came to console. And for a lot of people, I mean, that is how they feel about it. It really kind of like pioneered a forefront. And if it wasn't for Destiny, I would not know anything about Twitch or anything like that. And Destiny's done really good on Twitch. So overall, I mean, it is a successful game.
Yeah, it is.
What I think they did right was they created a game that everyone loves to hate, and we both know that shit makes money.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Any kind of talk is good when it comes down to
haters are gonna hate, but you're gonna make money off them.
Exactly. Especially when it's Bungie. They're already accredited. People already love them. People will already love them no matter what. So even if they get a huge following of haters, they're only feeding the fire. That is Bungie. So
talking about Bungie, I saw, and we were talking about it a little bit earlier, the Shattered Suns expansion. Are you like really excited about that coming out, and really excited about how that's going to grow the game, or what they're going to put in it potentially, like new raids to get more sweaty on, better PvP? I mean, like, where is that going? You know, do you know anything about it, or is that kind of a new thing that you're just learning about too? Because we just were talking about it earlier, but
I'm not for sure on really what they've released about it. There's not, I mean, they've released stuff on it, but it's not massively talked about in the community right now because it's not that close. How I look at it, and the way I have chosen to look at things from around the time of House of Wolves and Taken King, is pretty much up until like the closing month on that DLC, or when something is big enough for people to stampede my stream with it, I'm not going to look it up, because I have been disappointed by so many DLCs. I have been disappointed by so many expansions. So as someone who shares that hardcore aspect of Destiny PvE and my love for PvP, honestly, I'm just like, you guys do you, boo-boo, and I'll see if it's worth it when it comes out, because it feels like no matter how much I research it, no matter how much I get hyped about it, it comes out, and then I have sat there and imagined something that is absolutely amazing. It's like picturing the characters in a book while you're reading it, and then you go watch the movie, and you're like, what is
yeah,
this?
what you
So,
do to my movie?
exactly, and I don't want that to be how I look
Okay.
at that Destiny 2, the next expansion, however the hell they go about it. Last time I heard, it was like a completely different, like separate, like it was
You think they're
Destiny 2.
gonna
They were not doing
make? Do you think
DLC.
this is gonna be an expansion, or do you think it's gonna be a Destiny 2 where they just reissue the game and just put a new title to it?
What I'm thinking is it is literally a completely separate game, like the next step in the series. What I thought from what I've
I
read
gotcha,
and
yeah.
heard, that they're not gonna, they've had issues with releasing DLCs because we keep paying for them.
Right, yeah.
And it's a pain in the ass to pay for something that's supposed to give you so much more content. A lot of times the content does not get very good reviews back. It's been a huge issue, people feeling like they're basically basically people feel like the DLCs are owed to them for what they paid for in the first place, because honestly Vanilla Destiny was very simple.
Reality check. They're not gonna. You're never gonna
price.
get free stuff.
Yeah.
They need to make money to
Exactly.
keep making the game, and if you don't pay money to them, it will become a game that doesn't get promoted or doesn't get built upon.
Exactly. They need to make that money, and that is where they came in with the silver. You can purchase silver and purchase like certain dances and certain fucking movements in the game. Of fucking
So
right
like a
now, I just
store.
cannot.
They built a
Yeah,
store.
it's like, yeah, but it's really limited. It's really small. But they created that so that people could purchase silver, and then they could purchase like different dances and shit like that, ways that our guardians interact with each other, and it is super fun. And they had really good intentions with that. I mean, what they wanted to do was create a way for people to spend money on other things in the game.
Yeah.
And then not have to pay for the DLCs.
Right.
I'm assuming they wanted to make enough revenue off of it to where they could turn around, create a DLC, and release it for free. But that was not well received. At first, I think people were excited about the new dance moves and shit like that. But once it came down to microtransactions, their heart was in the right place. But everyone was already so bitter from the DLC issues. We had 3 DLCs at that point. Everyone was so bitter about that it was just not well received. So at this point, I'm pretty sure what they chose to do, now I could be totally wrong, but what they chose to do was go with releasing just Destiny 2, whatever the fuck, whatever.
Bungie's, we really fucked the pooch.
Doing a DLC to be paid for again for the first Destiny.
All right, cool. So, any tips that you can give to the viewers? And then we just got a question, and next is going to be questions. So, any tips to the viewers or people watching on YouTube or listening in on iTunes, Spreaker, Stitcher, all of that stuff? Do you have any tips for Destiny players?
Not to basically find your gray area in the game. Destiny is one of those games where you can go into it, and honestly, if you want to do nothing but PvE, you can do it. If you want to do nothing but PvP, you can almost do it, except excluding certain events with certain gear, if you want to participate in those. But you can pretty much go into it and do whatever you want. And honestly, up until I started caring so much about like every little detail about the game and the DLCs and what was going to come up next, and like I just got almost competitive with parts of the game that should not be competitive.
Yeah.
My tip to them is, when it comes to Destiny, when it comes to a game that is so much of, it seems like trial and error with the patches, with the community, with the way that Bungie goes about communicating to people, the way the community is divided, the way we have the PS4 versus Xbox bullshit. There's a lot of divisions there, and I've seriously just advised everyone, find your gray area. Don't pick one side or the other, because first off, the sides are bullshit. If you spend enough time in gaming, you will realize that everyone's here for damn near the same fucking reason. So there's no point in the first place to create massive sides of internet hate and controversy. We have enough of that shit in the outside world. Be chill. Like, if you are a sweaty gamer, if you want to go in and shit on kids, there is a way to shit on people and a way to teabag and a way to talk shit.
Respectfully, right?
Exactly, without
Yep.
pushing it too far. Like, you can fucking joke with someone all day long,
Right.
but if you're gonna say something insulting, like, try to semi-sound sarcastic and look, like, happy, so that they're not just like, you're a douche. You know what I mean?
Yeah. When I was competitive gaming in Counter-Strike, everybody would like handshake after we do like a LAN match in like Colorado or New York, wherever we're playing for money. We'd handshake and be like, hey, good match, you know, hey, that was a cool kill and stuff. I watch like competitive gaming now for Call of Duty, and it's like people screaming at each other across it. And see, that's the level of like that barrier where like new age kids, because I'm an old cat playing from the 90s all the way through the 2000s. The newer kids are just really aggressive, have no respect for people or their gaming abilities, and they just like, hey, fuck you, you suck, fuck you, And I'm sitting there like, dude, I would knock you out. Like I would reach around that table, grab you by your little stick neck, and beat the shit out of you because you should not talk to that. And I agree, man. You gotta have respect in a video game because everybody's there for the same reason. It's to be respectful with each other, enjoy a fucking video game. It's your escape when you get home from a long day of work, or when you have a lot of shit on your mind or whatever. You can go enjoy your buddies and people you play with online every single night. It's like an escape. You like their company because you all are there just to have fun. It's like going to a concert. Everybody is there just to have fun. Unless you're at a metal concert where everybody's mosh pitting and beating the shit out of each other, then everybody's there to have fun and kick each other in the face. But everybody is going to this event or this thing to get fun, and I think you nailed on the head. It's like you gotta respect every element of the gamer. There's the Care Bear casual and there's the hardcore player, and all of them are there for one reason: to play the game and enjoy it. They all paid their money. They all want to get away from normal day life. That's why everybody plays these games, is to enjoy, be competitive, whatever it is, but to get away. And I think you're right. Find your gray area. That's good. That's a really good way to say it.
Find your gray area. And see, the thing is like, for the most part, the internet's pretty simple. If someone's pissing you off, mute their fucking ass. Like,
right.
I hate that person that, like, someone else in the team, right, is like talking shit, but they're doing it in a jokingly, like, fun way. A lot of people banter in a comment, like, they just commentate on what's going on when they're casually gaming. And then there's that one guy that's like, oh my gosh, dude, why don't you shut the fuck up and stop talking so much? Why don't you use your mute button? Like, it's right there.
Xbox.
Oh my god.
I know, Xbox makes it easy, doesn't it?
Oh my god, it's so complicated.
Xbox makes it easy.
You know what I mean? Like, you can click a button and get away from someone on almost every occasion. And if you can't click a button and get away from someone, you can click a button and get in contact with someone that will help you.
I know this isn't
reason.
about Destiny, but ESO on the Xbox One, there is no way to mute people. Well, in the beginning, there was no way to mute people. So you would run into all the crowded areas and you would hear just, and you'd be like, oh my God. And you have to get away to like your own little area just to hear yourself think while you're trying to figure things out. That's the main reason I play PC ESO. Then I went to Xbox One and I was like, I just can't do it, man. So I got rid of my Xbox One and just went back to PC, because it's like, you would type to people. Everybody who's in your TeamSpeak are your buddies, Like, you don't have these randoms coming in and like messing your shit up, period, in the PC world. So I'm glad that this game came out with a mute button that you can mute people. Like, yo, dog, I don't want to hear your ass. Boop. Fuck you.
I love that.
Pound
I love
sound.
that about Destiny. I think that's something that they were really pushing when it came to the trying to have a more casual forefront for their PvP, their multiplayer, was putting it to where in order to hear your teammates, you have to be in a fire team with them. You've had to pretty much you've had to friend them and invite them or accept an invite to them. And I really like that function, because no one wants to either hear other people get shit on or get shit on themselves. Like, we're legitimately all here for the same reason. Like, I don't care how small your PP is. You can keep it to yourself. Like, no one's trying to talk that much shit over the internet. Like, I'll scream at you if you headshot me. Like, I'm going to get up a little upset for a second, and then I'm going to respawn, and it's going to be okay. Or I'm going to read a message in my chat, and it's going to be okay. You know what I mean? I feel like it's about not actually crossing that line and investing actual negative emotions into something that's supposed to be positive, supposed to be rooted in entertainment. It's supposed to bring joy, not negativity. So I really like that about the Destiny community, that was a feature in the game. If you wanted to talk to people, you had to be in the fire team with people. Now they have a little toggle voice chat, but again, you have to choose to enter that manually through your controllers. So it's still, I really like that. I feel like it gives a lot of people privacy. Not every 10-year-old squeaker can control the fact that his mom just walked into the room and like ripped his asshole open while all of his friends on Call of Duty are laughing at him. You know
Johnny,
what I mean?
why
Like,
were you masturbating in the bathroom? I swear to God, I catch you with your dad's porno mags. I'm gonna fucking rape your ass, you son of a bitch. And everybody's like, oh, dude, you hear Johnny just get ripped by his mom? He was masturbating in the bathroom.
Oh, I feel so bad when kids will like stay up late for the stream, and then they'll be like playing with me or something, and I can hear it. And I'm just like, I'm so sorry. I did not mean for this to happen.
So, we're going to go to questions and answering, and then we'll get to our last little chunk because we're getting pretty close to time. So, Zindane asked a question in chat, and he said, what do you think about the events, Iron Banner, Sparrow Racing, and the holiday stuff?
The holiday stuff for me, they packed a lot of events into December, and I can see why, because I feel like at that point things were kind of starting to come to a head about the patches, the content getting dry. So they released I think it was we had the Halloween event that like ran all October throughout the next month, and then after that we had SRL, whatever the fuck it is, the Sparrow Racing,
that looked kind of cool.
The middle of December.
Sparrow Racing looked kind of cool.
It was really cool. I enjoyed it. They need to do a lot more with it. I feel like every time they give us something, it's almost like it's in beta, and sometimes I wish they would just release it in the game as a fucking beta, like, because it seems so simple.
They should have like a PTS for you guys, where you guys can test their
people
stuff.
were getting. I can see why they did it, release it so simply, because we really hadn't done anything like that with Sparrows whatsoever. But they released it. It was really simple. People got the hang of it. And again, I have to consider it myself. Like, I still catch myself thinking that I'm just a complete fucking noob when it comes to all this shit, when I actually generally have above average knowledge on these things. So looking at it from a perspective of your normal, average, mediocre player, I'm sure that was probably a really fun, challenging event for them. And I loved doing it on stream. It was wonderful for rage material, because you fuck up one turn and you fucked yourself the entire map. So it was great for ranting, great for rages. The events were awesome, but they were packed into a small amount of time. We had another Iron Banner. I know when the first Iron Banner came out, for instance, the first Iron Banner after the 2.0 patch, that shit was completely fucked. They totally like basically they accidentally dropped the drop rate, the percentages of the drop rates for the event down to like nothing, like 0 point something, one ridiculousness of nothing. So no one was getting drops. I feel like they were rushed. They wanted to get the shit out. They wanted people to be happy, especially around Christmas. I mean, that is a huge time for everyone to be like, oh my God, Mom, please buy me this game. Buy me the DLC. It just came out. Please, it's Christmas. You know what I mean? So everyone's pushing for those sales, and I can see why they targeted that content around those times, especially with the Sparrow Racing, because that was completely fucking new to the game. So I can see why. But first off, like, as far as Destiny's concerned, I was expecting some, like, Hogwarts level shit in the tower for Christmas, and they did not deliver. And I was like, listen, if you're gonna celebrate Halloween, like, I don't give a fuck. I want you to put a tree in the middle of the motherfucking tower. I want you to light that bitch up, and I want you to stick little fake presents underneath it, because that's just, it needs to happen.
Oh, for
there
Christmas.
should be candles
For Christmas.
floating somewhere. Yeah,
Yeah.
I was a little disappointed with that. I feel like they could have done more with that, but I can also understand why they stay away from anything holiday related in those times. But I liked it. I liked the content they released, but I always feel like Bungie does this shit where they make things feel rushed when they shouldn't have to. And again, that is because most of the hard-hitting reviews are coming from those of us that have either put a shit ton of time in the game or are still grinding out the game every single fucking day. And when it comes to those people, it's hard to be pleased at this point.
Right.
Like, with what it literally all comes down to the platform that Bungie put Destiny on. It all roots back to the story, man. If they would have just given it a stronger foundation, they would have not had to scrap around looking for ways to integrate new content into the game. You know what I mean? Like, they would not be fumbling around with this shit. You have a good storyline, you can go places with that. You can release people attached shit around that. Right. Exactly.
Well,
exactly.
And there you have it. Destiny, the only reason Destiny is kind of struggling is because they didn't put foundation in the game and a storyline, and that is the root of all evil for the game right now. It's hurting.
It is.
But there's still goods and there's still bad within the whole entire show or within the whole entire game, and that's the best thing about it is you are airing it all out right here. So the last part of our show before we go is called Roast, Boast, or Ghost. And this is a part of the segment where I ask you if you would like to be roasted by the audience on the website, where we will put a picture of you from whatever clip we pick from the video, and you will put a little fake roast sign, and then you let your guests, your viewers and our viewers go to town after they watch it and try to roast you and try to get the best. Or you can boast and tell us one of your proudest moments, one of your greatest achievements, or something you're fucking just absolutely proud of. Or you can ghost out and tell us an embarrassing story, something that you want to hide away and never be found and never want to be seen again. So it is your turn to pick what you want to do for that segment. So go for it.
So when I was first told about this and I was trying to figure out where I was going to go with it, I wanted to do the embarrassing story because that's something that I feel like my viewers always feed into. And then over like the past 24 hours, I was like, wait, I already fucking told them like every possible thing that is even remotely embarrassing about me. So because of that, because of the genuine nature of my stream, I really want to go with the roast. Like I want to see people talk shit about the 12-year-old Vietnamese boy.
All right.
This happens.
So we will start building a roast picture of you, and then we will let it out to the wolves and see what kind of stuff we can get back from everybody.
I'm actually so excited about that. I've never been so excited to hear people talk shit. You guys better be creative.
Haters are the greatest thing ever.
Shit.
You gotta come out with the hate me because you ate me. Because that's it, man. You want to hate me? Sweet. Thank you.
That's awesome, though.
Katie, I can't tell you enough, or Queen Homicida, whatever you want to go by as your name. But I want to thank you very, very much for hanging out with us. It's been an absolute pleasure hanging out with you. You are like a killer personality behind a beautiful face with an awesome gaming, you've got awesome skills at playing video games, and it's only going to get better throughout the years. You obviously have a lot of talent, a lot of drive, a lot of passion towards gaming. I can't wait to see where you go in the future. I'm sure next TwitchCon we will be watching each other, and from Twitch, wherever I'm at, whether I'm behind the little podium and watching you speak or something like that. I will see you at TwitchCon. We'll probably see each other in the future, stuffing hamburgers in our face. And
it'll be awesome. They have so many open bars there. It's fucking fantastic.
Fuck yeah. I mean, I am already out. I have drank a whole entire mason jar of rum and coke, so I am good. But anyway, that's it for the show. So thank you all for watching. Thank you, Katie, for hanging out with us and giving us some insight into Destiny. It was a pleasure having you on the show, and our audience, I'm sure, absolutely enjoyed it. I'm your host, Chuck D. This was another fantastic night of What the Fuck. Please feel free to like, share, subscribe, tweet, because you're the reason this show is obviously possible and absolutely for her as well. If you're a hater, fucking hate me and hate her because we love haters. Bring haters on. We love them. Next week.
Get it out of your system.
Yeah, absolutely. I get it out. Let it out. Spam the shit out of comments with some hateful messages. I am happy to hear them and see them. I'm sure she is too, because it makes us laugh and makes us realize that you want to be us, but you can't. I hope you all have a fantastic week ahead. Next week, we'll be looking into Call of Duty Black Ops 3, and we will have a very good friend of ours named Missy on, and we will be interviewing her. So stay tuned till next week, where we will have our next interview. Thank you all very much for watching.